Hi, and welcome to another Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. This evening I have for you a no fuss coloring sympathy card. And of course you could change out the greeting for something else, but I decided to use this for a sympathy card, and the stamp set does all of the coloring and shading for you. But let me start by and the stamp set? Well, the bundle I'm using is Fragrant Layers. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 25 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube channel, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. So let's have, here we go, a closer look. Isn't this beautiful? And I've used this before for a card using the dies, and I can show you that. So this will remind you. This is in basic beige, and that's this die right here. Isn't that beautiful? Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then this for the center of the flowers. So I had used that, but tonight I am using the stamp set. And Stampin' Up! Has a sample I really liked. I'm not making theirs, so I have it here to show you. This is an online exclusive. So this you will find in the samples, and I just thought it was so becoming, but I did something else. I wanted to show you that. Isn't that pretty? So they got the stamp, the flowers in the background. I thought, oh, that is really, really sharp. All right, tempted to make it, but I did something else that, like I said, super simple. And so let's see who's checking in. Oh, we got Miss Danette and Miss Cherie. All right, and so Miss Cherie, well, she was over and we were playing, and I designed a card, and then I got up this morning and made some tweaks. Hey, Miss Shirley. And so she'll have to watch to see how I tweaked it. I wanted to just step it up a little bit, so I hope you love that. So the Fragrant Layers, this is available in a bundle. Whenever you order the bundle, you save 10% on both the stamp set and the dies. And like I said, it's an online exclusive, so it's not pictured in a catalog, and the length of time is quite uncertain. Things can just disappear any moment. So I am going to do some die cutting though. And I will be using these dies and the perennial postage dies. And this is now I think it's an online exclusive. You know what? It is a little confusing that some things are in the annual catalog and some things are online exclusives, but it is available. I did check, and not in low inventory. I did check. And hey, let me show you while I'm still here. Oh, Miss Deborah. Hello, hello. Both of these are on magnet cards from Stampin' Storage, a separate company. And this is on the 5 by 8.5. And when you go over there, if you follow that link in, designed for our new envelopes. All right, so they fit in there perfectly for the style that we had, where it went into an envelope. Instead of leaving it on the cardstock with that tape, I prefer these because they're super strong. The magnets don't fall off, yet they're easy enough to pull the dies off. And so both of those are available at stampinstorage.com. There's the QR code, or you can find the link under the video. Okay, so it depends on the size. This, now that we're transitioning, I'm purchasing all these, but I was getting the 6x6, but you have a variety of sizes. Okay, so I need both of those and my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let's come over here. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so grab that. And here we have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we'll put these down. Fantastic. I just love this, the small profile. It doesn't take up much room on my shelf. Okay, so what you need to use is plate number 1 and plate number 2. And all of this is pictured on here to use these thin metal dies. All right, to get it up to the appropriate thickness, so it's thick enough to cut through the cardstock, but not too thick that you can't get it through, but thick enough that it'll actually cut. All right, so that's what we call sandwiches, and the directions are printed on here. And all these plates I'm using tonight come with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so then we will need a plate number 3. And so here would be what you'd think of it the proper way. But you know what? Rotate your plates. Use them all over the place. And right here I have some basic white cardstock. And I need this largest die from the perennial postage. Fantastic. That rough edge, that's the cutting edge. We will place that down. And we will see how well I do without the magnetic platform. And then we need another plate number 3. I'm going to place it on there. I need to be super careful without the magnets. Oh, Miss Adelaide is here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and crank this through. And my first one, I will show you the first one that I made with just layers. But I just thought, oh, this would be so pretty. That little bit just really dresses up that postage edge. Okay, and then you know what? Right back onto your magnet card, you don't lose anything. And these pockets are available there too for that older style. For the new style, you know, the envelope comes with it. So we are all set. All right, so now I got out the Petunia Pop two-tone cardstock. Oh, Miss Tammy is here. Hello. And so what's so fun is it's 2 tones. Hence the name. And so for the intricate flower that I want to use, I will use this one. Again, that rough edge is the cutting. Put that down. And this is the detail in the darker. There we go. And then, okay, I'm still going to need, I've got this for a leaf. And put that on there. So this is Granny Apple Green cardstock. And this is the, like I said, the Petunia Pop two-tone cardstock. You know, Petunia Pop retiring. Now, I looked this morning. The regular cardstock, which I'm using as well, is in low inventory, as well as the ink pad. You know, and we're getting close to the retiring list to be, or what they're now calling the last chance to be released. I hope they get more in, but, you know, I don't know. Because when it gets to be this time of year with retiring in colors, you know, you're starting to take a chance at this point. So if you have the pad, you know, grab the refill. That was in low inventory as well. And get more cardstock. And I need this again. Oh, no, I need that one again. But I'm taking my Take Your Pick tool and we'll gently push on those. There we go. We've got that. Back onto my magnet card. And all right. And tomorrow I'll have a link to my blog post with all of the measurements to make it easy to duplicate this card if you find it to be as lovely as I am. As Miss Shree and I were playing, I said, you know what I like about this? Often when I need a sympathy card, you're not in the mood because, you know, you're hurting too. And so this card just was so easy to make and turned out so lovely. Oh, and stick around because I'm going to show you a monochromatic one at the end. And then it even has the veins in there, very sharp. And so simple to do, like I said, quite lovely. And good to have on hand. Okay, Darling Duckling, I want the center, so we'll just plop that on there. My cutting plate again, and then we are done with the die cutting. And if you would be so kind, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. I had 3 likes before we even started. I thought, oh, you all are so sweet. So this is what I'm wanting, that center. Okay. It shows up well on my black glass board. I go between the black and the gray, depending how dark my cardstock is. Okay, there we go. And I can show you what I'm talking about real quickly with that. Okay. And so into my craft catcher, isn't that handy? That's part of the glass board. And so when I'm done with everything, I just pick that up and dump it in the trash. It fits right underneath, brush it off. Wonderful. So while I'm talking about that, before I zoom in and start stamping, let me show you the glass board. They got in touch with me. I hadn't heard of them, but I'm so glad they did. Magnetic glass boards, a lot of benefits. You know, it's heat resistant. I've done ink blending on it. I've mixed, you know, ink with the Wink Stella, but the magnets holding things in place for me. It's that third hand when I'm doing ribbon. I love it. I don't know how we've been stamping without it. And when you use code Stamping Smiles, typically you save 15% store-wide, but I earned a discount for you through March 31st, 20% off store-wide. And I get asked what size mine is. I use the 13.5 by 18. One of my sweet stampers ordered a size larger and she's thrilled. So there it is, glass board. So you can do that QR code, find the link under the video. Both of those will just automatically put the code Stamping Smiles into it. But if you just go right to glassboard.com, glassboardstudio.com, make sure you use code Stamping Smiles, 20% off. That is sweet. And free shipping on orders of 75 or more. So yay. Okay, so let's zoom in. And let's see, I'm going to scroll down to see. Oh, Miss Carla's here. Fantastic. So let's zoom in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. But boy, you can see that center. Very nice. All right. And so I'll show you the stamp set again. And interestingly, and I noted that when I did this card, I think a couple of months ago, that I was so surprised when I took out the dies that none of the dies actually cut out this flower. We've got intricate ones. I haven't played with the big intricate ones yet. So there's so much fun to have with this, and these are some pretty label dies. So, all right. And instead of the harsher black, I just wanted something different. So I'm going to use basic gray instead. And so let's pick this up and slide that in. And we had some really cool announcements today. One of them, a change in how the catalogs will work, which is exciting. When I did my 25th anniversary special and showed you all of the annual catalogs since I joined 25 years ago, and even before that, because I was a customer first, no more annual catalogs. Instead, we're going to have a complete catalog every 4 months. So, we're used to the September through December and the January through April. Well, now we will have the May through August, but they'll have all the cardstock and the inks and all that, and the stamps that are more seasonal. And so that'll be one less thing for me to say, was this from the annual catalog or from the mini catalog or an online exclusives? I only have 2 things to look at. All right, so let's ink this up. And we have a new style ink pads coming, but for the new, well, we'll call it, it's not catalog year anymore, right? For the starting in May, only for the in colors. We're going to start there, and then next year, they've already announced we're having a revamp, but we'll start with those, and I can't wait to get them and tell you what I think about them. All right, so I'm going off the edge. You know what? I meant to do something else. Oh, good evening, morning, Miss Marie. Welcome, welcome. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's what happened. I stamped that and, the whole thing, and thought that's so pretty. I almost didn't want to color it in. And so that's why I did a monochromatic one. Because if you want to make a stack of these, you could in no hurry. And so this is the stamps that I'm using, the Prayers and Promises. This is from the January through April catalog, and we've got some really great greetings in here. This has been very popular with my sweet stampers. Keeping my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. That's more than sympathy. That could be for many different things. Just, letting someone know you're thinking about them. And so some really, really good greetings. So the one I chose is praying that the Lord's promises will bring you hope and comfort in the days ahead. Okay, so I stayed with the basic gray. I tried one in basic black, and both of us agreed we really preferred the basic gray. And I have this mounted on a clear block D. So comfortable. If you haven't used our clear mounts, look at that. You've got the grooves that are polished and very comfortable to hang on to. So as I'm talking, I don't know if that's drying. Let's do this. Okay, praying that the Lord's promises will bring you hope and comfort in the days ahead. Beautiful. And let's do the other corner. Ink this up. And this is on a clear block E. All right. And so I want to make this one. Here we go. Here's my rotation I'm looking for, filling that corner in with these flowers, a little bit of those buds. straight up and down. Voila. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I've got a microfiber cloth here just so I don't get ink all over. Should I tell on her? Miss Cherie gets all concerned. So we don't want her all upset. She watches and thinks, you're going to make a mess. And I probably do. Okay, so you know what? When I did the first one, it was kind of cool. There are two different leaf stamps, double leaf stamps. And so the first one I messed up because I thought they were the same. I didn't look closely enough. So I decided when I remade it to start with the leaves. So if I messed up, I could turn it over. Here we go. And so Granny Apple Green was that color. The new ink pads that we're getting, they're magnetic close. If you struggle with our pads, that will be over. All right, so which one goes with this? That's a little bit more curved. There we go, this one. And I'm on a clear block B. Do you have multiple clear blocks? I highly recommend it so you can just keep stamping. And this is easy to fill in. I say that, hopefully I do a good job. There we go. And this one, I believe, is the same. And this is so pretty. If you don't get it perfect, it's okay. It will still look really good. We had a stamp set once that I just loved because you couldn't get it perfect. I thought, well, that takes a lot off. You just couldn't. And it was so pretty, perfectly imperfect. And there we go. And so a quick swipe. So when I do turn it over, put adhesive on it, I don't pick up that ink. All right. And then this leaf, now what I didn't do the first time, there is a stem. We need to pay attention to that stem. Okay, so I will watch what I'm doing. Yeah, I just didn't see it at all, and I was really off. And if I'm off tonight, we'll pretend I did a beautiful job. There we go. Oh, cool. The stem hit the stem. So I believe that is all the leaves. Like I said, that was a first. I had never, because we had some other stamps that were really cool to fill in and use the same flower in the leaf, just the way they turned them. And where this one actually did have a different one. All right, Petunia Pop. We'll talk about that again. One of the 24-26 in colors that is retiring. And once it's gone, it's gone. Your only hope is it'll come back as an in color someday, but that won't be this year. All right, and then you have this beautiful stamp to fill it in. And so our Petunia Pop, let's pick this up and slide that in and get this all good and inked up. All right, let's see how well we can line this up. Oh, hey, there we go. I think we've got it. That little bit are those buds up there. Rotate in. The photopolymer are so cool. Remember, I used to do what we call two-step stamping through the wood. And we'd use the Stamp-A-Majig. Oh my goodness. If you've been with Stampin' Up! As long as I have, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you're like, oh my goodness. And we did it and loved it, but it was more challenging for sure. Gorgeous. Okay, so what's really cool about this is it does the shading for you. So if you wanted to, you could sit there and color. There are people who love to color. But for something quick, how fun, but it does that shading. Stampin' Up! Was calling these distinctive. It was their patent pending process. I haven't seen that listed in a catalog in a good while, the distinctive, but it sure looks like the same thing, the distinctive. I love when it does the shading for me. Okay, so let's see what we can do to line this up. I'm trying to, there we go. I think I'm having a hard time. I'm not where I'm comfortable stamping. There we go. Here's that flower. Rotate. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I hover over and I can't because of the camera. So again, we'll just pretend that I did a really good job. I didn't get the other one quite as perfect as I'd like, but so not the end of the world. Oh, much better on that one. Isn't that beautiful? That shading that's just naturally done for you. Wow. And you know what? I am just falling in love over and over and over with the Darling Duckling. Such a nice, rich yellow for so many things. All right, I'm looking for one more, and I've got the center of the flowers. So this is a 25-27 in color, not going anywhere quite yet. But wow, I just keep pulling it out. It's not super bright, like Daffodil Delight, or too soft, which, um, oh, the name just went out of my head. Lemon Lolly. I wanted something different. And I just really like this yellow. That turned out so pretty. Isn't that pretty? Look how quickly you could make sympathy cards. Sympathy cards is what I made tonight. But boom, coloring done. So super simple. All right, so we have this to deal with. And what I have here, I could have used the adhesive sheets, but instead I'm going to show you what I like to do as well, because sometimes you're designing, you're not sure where you're going with it. The multi-purpose liquid glue and everything I'm using, unless I tell you differently, like the magnet cards, are available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And this is our silicone craft sheet. It has a little Stampin' Up logo, so you can pick this up. So this two-way, if you put it on, and then the silicone, you don't get adhesive all over. I can lay it down here. And when you let it air dry, the white goes translucent. And then you have something that's easy to work with, because I am a hot mess with any liquid glue. I have it squirting out all over. But with this, I then can pick it up and do what I need to do, reposition it, but it has a really good hold. But to save time, I already have it done. Okay, so we have this ready to go. And you know how you rotate around and around and around? Well, this is really easy. This petal is shaped like a heart. It's the only one. So once I figure that out, really easy to put the detail over top. But isn't that pretty, the two-tone? So I've got the two colors of Petunia Pop, but that's that two-tone cardstock, something I need to use a lot more of. It is so pretty. My goodness. Okay, so I can stay there. So let's get out our Stampin' Seal. I will need these, my Stampin' Dimensionals. And put some adhesive on the back of this. Whoops, not that one. Okay, what'd I do with it? Oh, I saw it. It was over here. I don't know how it got over there, but that's okay. I saw something upside down. So anyway, put some of this on here. And your bonus days coupons, you only have through Friday. You earn those in January. They're free shopping dollars. Spend however you like. You need to use them before they expire on you. So there won't be any exceptions. Okay, and I want to put this right here. So this worked out really well. Stampin' Dimensionals, my favorite adhesive ever. So we'll put this, because remember that flower center? I haven't lost it yet. There we go. Into my craft catcher. All right, so let's do this right about here. And then in the center, where's my take your pick tool? I don't have anything on here, but sometimes I can pick up. And the only thing here is rotating it in the, oh, I think I'm close, into the right way. But that worked out really nice. Just die cutting that. And, oh, I need to flip it over. There is a right and wrong side, that's for sure, with the die cutting. So you can see, there we go, into there. How slick is that? Really, really cool. Okay. And so then, when I was designing, I put on the Petunia. I was trying to use two colors, and I was going to use basic gray, and I just loved it against the Petunia Pop. So I decided, nope, I better go back out a little bit to just layer again with the Petunia Pop and pop it up, because anything else took away. Well, this morning, after I did this, I thought, ooh, let's do the two-tone. So now I've got a light border and then we'll put it on this. Worked out really cool. So back with my Stampin' Seal, I put my finger where it's a little opaque, and an inch in each corner does really well. So let's do it against the black. The black is just making all this pretty pink pop. And with the glass boards, oh my goodness, you can get one to fit your personality, your craft room, whatever floats your boat. Isn't that pretty? But now this is, back to one of my favorite things. The Stampin' Dimensionals really steps it up. This two-tone, I've got to remember that I have it. I just love this. And so that tone on tone is another favorite look of mine. And but then I get the tones. What it reminds me of is our designer paper, right? Because it'll say, let's just pick a color, Night of Navy, yet it's lighter than the cardstock or the ink. It's always a shade of. And so that's what this is doing. It's giving us more variety with one sheet of cardstock. So Petunia Pop, again, this was in low inventory this morning and retiring. So now we've got that lighter, but I still got to have the Petunia Pop that made everything just really pop. Then, of course, we have to have our finishing touch. We need a little bit of bling. And aren't these gorgeous? The Sparkle Dot Essentials. These were in inventory. So back with my Take Your Pick tool. And they come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. So I always press down on the embellishment so the adhesive sticks to the embellishment and not the acetate sheet. That happened to me more than once, so I get smart after a while. All right, so, that sparkle. Isn't that pretty? And then a medium one right here. And we will tuck that and let it peek out a little bit from behind the petal. I like that look. Makes it really cohesive and part of it. I got to show you the one whoops, well, that's not handy. The one I did first. There we go. Maybe up a little bit. Okay. Did I not press down on that? Somehow I picked that up. How about we place it and press? I get in the habit, I don't press until I'm happy with my placement. So I don't think, because of that habit. All right. Press, press, press. Very nice. And then small one, we'll tuck it in down here. And there we go. Simple. Oh, thank you, Miss Carla. Simple, simple, simple sympathy card, but it is beautiful. So let me show you the first one. So this is the first one. If you would rather not do the die cutting, straight lines, and there is a single flower in here. And so then I hand trimmed it, the single flower, and put the center in the leaves. You have separate leaves with the detail. So that's what I did. And, a little Winka Stella. Let's think about that. That'll go really well with these sparkle dots. Let's do that. There we go. Just that little touch. Yeah, just keeps it so coordinated. Can't see in the light there we go. Yep. Very pretty. And so I think this was a step up, this little die cut. I like all that detail, but this is pretty too, but this is quicker and easier. This I hand trimmed, this die, and we've got it. Oh, Miss Tammy, thank you. Oh, and Miss Jane, thank you. And so I really like both. I'm preferring this one, the little bit of stepping it up. Oh, Miss Carla, it is in the online exclusives, but under the video, on YouTube, is the link to it, the online exclusives. So I told you, I stamped everything in gray and sat back and thought, oh my gracious, that is pretty. And so tried a color and it wasn't deep enough. But then Secret Sea, isn't that pretty? And so the same idea, but so you could see how you could whip these out if you just really needed something in a hurry, and not just Sympathy, anything. If you need a whole bunch of I don't know. Well, I've got friends who send, do birthday cards for the whole month, boom, done, a greeting that will fit in there. And I didn't think to look for, well, this was last week, but this morning when I got the two-tone cardstock, that would have been cool too with this Secret C. Oh, you're Miss Welcome. Oh, the sparkle. I know, these are gorgeous. The sparkle dots. Oh, essentials. Mm-mm-mm. And so there you go. So 3 different cards, just this one, a little stepped up. Like I said, I prefer this, and if you're in a hurry, that is cool. Oh, Miss Cherie likes the second one best. We were tickled. We were pleased for a quick and easy card and in this, but yeah, this flower really, if I hadn't seen that, I would have said, oh, that's really pretty. But gosh, I like that. I'm glad I played with it because I hadn't done those yet. So now it means I need to use these. I think some two-tone cardstock will be used. So like I said, everything I use is available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And I'm going to warn you for the 3rd time, Petunia Pop, the cardstock, ink, and refill, all were in low inventory this morning. Will they resupply it? I honestly don't know. I just know we're getting to be that time of year. I don't know if they'll resupply it or not. And then the prayers and promises, like I said, has been very popular with my sweet stampers. Beautiful fonts, very nice variety for prayers and promises. Okay, so let's do this. And I'll come back. And I showed you that other card that I thought was really pretty using this stamp set. And they use a little bit of the dies. There we go. And so fantastic. Yay. So, well, thank you for joining me for another Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. You never know when I will pop back in. I usually do at least 2 a week. And so the best thing you can do is hit that subscribe button on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook, how you subscribe, like, or whatever it is now. And, but a thing on Facebook, or I'm sorry, YouTube, you need to hit the notifications. There's a little bell to get notified that I'm going live. So you would think subscribe would do it, but there's another step. Like I said, you never know when I will pop back in, but I sure plan to sometime this week. And I would tell you if I knew, I just don't. And tomorrow, after the video is done uploading to HD, I'll have a link to my blog post with this card and all of the measurements, as well as a PDF that will include the picture of the card, the measurements, and the card sketch that you can download absolutely for free. And all the supplies are listed right now if you're watching on YouTube, or they will also, they're there on YouTube, and tomorrow they'll be with that blog post. So I am so glad you came and joined me. This Fragrant Layers is just gorgeous. I am thrilled with it. That monochromatic card I did with the dies that I showed you first, this just tickled me to no end. Of course, you could use other colors than basic beige, keeping everything subtle. One of the prettiest ones boy, we get a lot of beautiful flowers. There's something about this one. And like I said, and I haven't used those intricate ones yet. All right, so reminder, bonus days, coupons. Don't let that money expire without, oh my goodness, that's free money. You spend it like cash, and you can use your Stampin' rewards too. So you only have through Friday, February 28th to spend those bonus days coupons you earned in January. Oh, Miss Darlene. All right. She's from Kentucky. We're so glad you got to come and join us. So I'm not seeing any new comments. So you know what? It's that time that I thank you once again for coming and spending some of your time with me, sharing the craft that I love, making mostly handmade cards. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good evening, and God bless.